Hey everyone, today we are going to show you how to use Casa milk flour. I am Nicholas Service.
And I'm Steven Service.
We are Service Events, Pennsylvania's best in-home restaurant experience. We are going to make the pasta dough that we make and serve at kind of all of our events. We try to structure our menus every single month as an amuse-bouche, some kind of hot course, a salad, a pasta course, literally just to highlight, Casa Valley Mill, intermezzo, entree, dessert. So we probably have, between the both of us over the last 11 years, probably 9 different pasta dough recipes. This one we're going to show you though works every single time. It's the one that we like the most. Whenever we go out to any of these pasta restaurants, I'm always like, man, ours is so much better, so.
Well, this is the recipe we also give to classes, we pass out to people. We know it's gonna work at your house also every time you wanna try it.
So in here, I have 250 grams of soft bolted wheat flour, whole wheat flour. I have 7 egg yolks and 1 full egg. In these, I have 1 tablespoon of raw milk, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of salt. So to get this started, I want to get our flour into our bowl with our salt so this gets nice and incorporated. And then I'm going to turn this on and we are going to create the well, if you will, for pasta. So if you were to make this with your hands, you would put your flour on the table, you'd make a well out of it, and you pour all your stuff in there. But thank you to modern technology, we don't have to do that. So we have one of these handy dandy KitchenAids. So we are going to kind of let the machine do the work for us. So right now, as you can see, the dough hook is essentially starting to push all the flour out to the sides, creating us this kind of well into the center of it. Once it's kind of where I want it to be, I'm gonna slowly start adding our eggs to it, like Steve did with the cake, one at a time, just to make sure they all really kind of emulsify and they mix evenly. If I were just to dump all of them in here at one time, I would have wet spots and dry spots, and it would be a nightmare to work with. So while this is going, I'm just gonna dump all of our wet liquids into the eggs to make my life a little easier. But you can just do this at your house ahead of time. Crack your eggs, put your kind of dry stuff in there, and that can sit for as long as you would like it to. But right now, we're just about to start kind of having this well where I want it to be. As you can see, the flour is completely kind of pushed to the sides and we have a nice bowl in the center. So I'm gonna slowly start adding these eggs one at a time. And it is cool, people are always like, oh, how will I know if it's one at a time? Trust me, you'll know. The eggs slide out on their own. It's super easy. You can literally just feel it. Anybody can do it. We've had 5-year-old kids do this and they do it perfectly. One little, one yolk.
We have also had 5-year-old kids dump the whole container of eggs in at one time.
Yes, we've had it all. Let's keep this going.
So another big reason why we choose this flour, on top of it being local, which is a huge thing for us, for everything we serve, we must know where it's coming from, kind of who's handling it, how it's being grown, is that we always talk to people about the gluten intolerance epidemic we have in America, of how so many people can't eat processed gluten or processed flour. And so I went and took a tour at Casa Valley when I was 21, a little over 10 years ago now, just to learn more about this local product, this gluten intolerance thing that we have, how it was being grown, how it was being processed. And when I got there, I asked the husband, Mark Fisher, who kind of runs the whole operation, just this kind of thumb to the nose sort of question of, if Jesus fed the world on bread and water, well, then how come nowadays half the world can't eat bread? And he laughed about it like most people do. But he started explaining to me how we got to where we are today, of a lot of these intolerances we have in our food system come from us moving into cities. So now we're living in closer quarters, people are on top of each other. When you get sick, you get your neighbor sick, so on and so forth. So we had to figure out a way to make food more shelf stable. And so what we did was we took the wheat plant, which is 3 parts, the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. We took out the bran and the germ, which both have fat in them, which makes the food spoil quicker. Took them out, bleached it so it's white and it's more appealing. And that left us with the endosperm of the wheat plant, which we know of today as kind of the gold brand flour. Now he kind of used the analogy to me of an egg, where if you took an egg and you scrambled up the whole egg, and if you ate 1/8 of a teaspoon of that scrambled egg, you'd still get all the parts of it. But if we took the egg yolk out and we ate only egg whites, and you ate a diet of only egg whites, you'd be okay for a little while. But after a certain amount of time, you would start missing some of these, kind of crucial nutrients. That's where we're finding ourselves today, of where it's been okay to eat this bleached endosperm wheat product for the last 50 or 60 years, but it's slowly catching up to us, and we're seeing more and more and more people have intolerances to gluten, have intolerances to these kind of things. And what that essentially is when you're eating that, not having any of the bran or the germ which have the fat in it, and that goes into your stomach doesn't know how to digest it, because your body's not made to kind of digest food without fat. And so you get bloated or inflamed, or kind of some of these issues people are having with flour. So we always tell people, either find a good organic whole wheat flour, find something locally milled. You shouldn't have any of these issues. We're all kind of evolved eating flour. It's bizarre today that you can't eat it. Then it just goes into our pesticide spraying and all these things on wheat also, but we'll finish our pasta here.
Yeah, it is fun serving this pasta to people who are intolerant. You're like, oh, can I have seconds? Like, oh, I feel so good after eating your food. And it's like, well, it's just good quality.
Yep.
That's all it is. But so in here, we now have our dough kind of finished up mixing. I want to make sure this is unlocked and turned off. So what we're kind of looking for here is for this to kind of essentially just be one big ball. So as you can see, we kind of have a nice ball of pasta in here. We're going to dump this on our nice wooden table, get all this kind of excess out, and now we are going to start to knead the dough. This is probably one of the harder things to explain. What we have seen teaching pasta classes is most people say, oh, I can get my pasta dough to this at home, but it never turns out after this. What we've kind of seen is people don't knead it long enough.
Yep.
We kind of have a joke in our classes, when your triceps hurt, do it 5 minutes longer.
Yep.
That's how you know it's ready. So what we're going to do here essentially is we're going to take the palm of our hand, because it's the strongest point, and we're going to kind of press it into it and fold it over itself. And what we're essentially doing is just trying to get all of this dust and extra flour back in here. Timer. So we're gonna get all of this in here. All of these little dusty flakes hold moisture. So we're trying to fold all this into itself to kind of make a nice kind of dry dough. I can tell with it being humid out today that this dough is gonna be really nice. It's gonna be nice and soft, if you will, and stretch really nicely. So we're just gonna take a few minutes here doing this. So we are just about there. Probably just spent a good 10 minutes, kneading. So as you can see, this, we kind of say, it's like adult Play-Doh. Like this feels like adult Play-Doh. I can squeeze it, put my fingers in it. So what we're gonna do is let this rest, if you will. So we're gonna let kind of all the gluten strands relax. If we were to take this right now and just run it through our pasta roller, you could literally see it probably bounce back 50% of its yield. So what letting it rest does is not do that. So we're gonna kind of let it rest. We're gonna wrap it in plastic wrap, or at home if you want, just kind of like a damp towel. Anything to prevent the air from getting on this. If this gets too dry, the top will kind of get a layer on it, like a skin, like a dinosaur skin. And when you roll it through the machine, that skin will stay on it.
Yeah.
And you don't want that, because it fucks with the texture. It looks weird. It's just not desirable. So we're trying to do everything here in real time, as desired as possible. We're gonna let this sit for a couple minutes and we'll be right back. Okay, so now that our pasta dough has rested for a half hour or so, I can tell it's nice and ready to go. I cut a piece off. I have it nice and flattened out now, and again, the power of technology. We are going to use our handy dandy KitchenAid roller. You can get these at kind of any kitchen appliance store. You can just get it offline from the KitchenAid website or Amazon. So to start this, if you guys can see, we have these dials. They go from 1 to 8, and every time you turn them, it gets these rollers closer together, which is going to stretch out our pasta more. So we're going to start this on 1.
Yeah, it's very important to note that the lower the number, the wider the machine.
It is, yes. Also, for these machines, for our viewers at home, these only go one way. Do not get your hair, your bracelet. We saw in culinary school, a knife. Don't put anything in these but pasta.
If you want to clean this, this should never get wet.
Yes.
We've seen people take towels to wipe the flour off. Make sure it is detached.
Yes.
If this clicks on while you're doing that, we've seen towels get stuck in it. Like,
And
you ruined your whole machine.
The whole machine's ruined. Like you cannot replace these. You cannot get it out. It's a mess. So what we're going to do, we have a nice floured piece of pasta here. We're going to start this on 1. Turn it up a tad. It's going to roll through, and then very important here, to help kind of develop our gluten a little more as we go through, fold this over itself. You have some chefs who will say this has to be done 50 times before you can move on. We do it just once or twice. Make sure it's folded over. It's going to help kind of develop our gluten strands. We're going to pop it back through the 1 setting. Just for good measures, I'm going to do it one more time.
We've heard if you roll it through the same setting, so the same number 2 or 3 times, it gives you more of the like authentic grandma's kind of feel pasta dough.
So even with this right now, it's probably hard to tell on video, but I can feel as though it's getting a little sticky. So what we're gonna do is just give it a little light dusting of flour, wipe it all off, or you can just use the excess on your table. What that's gonna do is make sure the pasta does not stick to this roller as it's going through. If that is the case, it will put holes in your pasta dough, then you have to start all over again. Now I just went up to 2.
We had a chef back in the day who talked about the excess flour on your board and like just doing things technically the correct way. And he used the example of a pizza chef of when you get pizza from a really good pizza chef, the bottom of that pizza dough isn't coated in flour. It's not absolutely covered. They know how to kind of use just the perfect amount to make sure the moisture stays the right way. So it's not grabbing onto the machine, and just using like more of your sensory skills as you cook instead of just looking at it.
So cooking is all 5 senses: taste, smell, hearing, feeling, seeing. This I feel like definitely does that too. I can smell that this dough is gonna have a nice kind of salty flavor to it. I can feel that this is gonna feel really good. Obviously, I can see by not having too many crinkled edges that this is gonna come out really nice. And it's weird, we heard cooking is also part hearing. You ever have a chef who goes, yo, I can hear it's burning over there, I can hear it's burning.
Yep.
That is very true. So now I just ran it through 4. I just put the machine on setting 5. That's gonna be our 5th and final setting. I wanna run this dough through 3 times on the 5th setting. That three interval time, like Steve said earlier, is gonna give us more of that authentic grandma's feel, if you will, for pasta dough. It's also going to make sure the dough does not bounce back on itself too much. With this also, this dough can be very fragile. We try and tell all of the kids when they're doing this, put it in, use your back hands. We've seen a lot of people, if you do like this, they'll tear right through it, or their fingers will go right through it. So putting it on and just guiding it through with the back of your hands is what's gonna make it as easy to deal with, and just, it's nice to do. And then once this is all good now, we're gonna turn this off. Make sure it's unplugged so nothing goes into our roller. And then we're gonna let this dry for probably about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna roll it through our cutter. So now that we just took about 25 minutes for our pasta to dry, I can feel right now that this is a lot more dry than what we just kind of finished. So what I just did is I switched out our fettuccine cutter from our regular just kind of roll cutter. If you get these KitchenAid ones, these guys, they come with a fettuccine, a regular one, and also a spaghetti roller. So this can be super fine. We enjoy fettuccine. I think it's just a better mouthfeel. It's just more versatile. It's easy. It's better to cook. You know, you can cook it a little longer than you would spaghetti. So with that, our sheets are already cut now. They're dried. We're gonna turn our machine back on. Again, this only goes one way, so watch yourself, especially with the cutters. Yeah, watch your fingers, watch your hair, watch bracelets. Big no-no to get that in there. So once we put this in here, it's really cool what comes out the other side. We kind of always leave the kind of end pieces off because they're a little scraggly, if you will. And then one fettuccine. Two. then 3. So that about, it's a good portion size right there. And then we kind of joke, this is for the line cooks.
That's what we eat.
That's what we eat. So that is how you cut fettuccine. And then now we will show you a dish that we'd probably serve on our menu and how we would cook it. All right, so now after our fettuccine is all cut, dried, and ready to go, we are going to show you all how to make agli e olio, which translates to garlic and oil. Apparently it is the poor man's pasta of Italy. I guess we're told that everybody in Italy has flour, water, and garlic. So that's kind of all we're doing here. We start off with some really high-end garlic, or some high-end olive oil from Altamonte's in our very own Walnut Street Pottery olive oil pour. So we're gonna do a good amount in here. I have our pan, it's been going on low. You want your pan to be on low. If the oil is too hot and the garlic starts to brown, the garlic's gonna get really kind of bitter and acidic and just be gross. So I'm gonna put our garlic in here, and then what we do with this garlic is we take a mandolin and kind of like the Goodfellas, when they're in prison and Paulie's cutting it with a razor, talking about how the garlic just melts. That's essentially what we're doing here. So we got this super, super, super thin garlic in some really nice olive oil, and we're gonna now just really let this go low and slow for a while until this becomes super translucent. You can already smell, it smells amazing. Once this gets to where I want it to be, we're gonna add some fresh herbs that we just went out and picked in the garden. We're gonna drop our fettuccine in here and show you kind of how to emulsify in just some pasta water with olive oil to kind of make the nicest sauce. Very simple, very easy. I'm gonna keep the garlic moving around so it never sticks or never burns. And with this, I don't want to drop my pasta too soon because the pasta is so fresh, it'll literally take 35 seconds to cook. A big thing with cooking pasta that a lot of people I don't think realize, which you can kind of see in here, your water has to be at a rolling boil. Not a simmer, not a bubble, a good hard boil.
Rolling boil means it cannot be stirred down.
So our garlic is just about where I want it to be at. I can almost see right through it. So I'm going to take a little bit of fresh thyme and fresh oregano. We actually use these. Usually we'll use some parsley and some basil or something. With that, we actually chop this up, even with the oregano, with all the stems in there. The stems actually hold more of the folic acid, which actually gives our pasta a little more flavor. So you don't want to just pick your herbs off and throw the stems away, especially with the soft herbs, we call them. Oregano, basil, mint, parsley, cilantro. All those stems are super awesome, really delicious. So now that's in there. I'm gonna add a little pinch of salt. A big thing about cooking that a lot of people don't realize is you want to season in layers. So whenever you add a new ingredient, add a little more salt to it. It'll make your dish way more well balanced and just seasoned way better. So now we have our pasta, our pot at a rolling boil, our garlic over here going nice and low and slow. We're gonna take the lid off, drop this in, give it a little stir. Make sure it's not sticking to itself, which it's not, which is beautiful. Put our pot lid over there. Make sure this isn't burning. I can smell this already. It's gonna be amazing. This is already floating, which is a good sign. Now, I like my pasta a little more al dente. Not where it's gonna stick to your teeth. That's never a good sign. So we'll give this maybe another 25 seconds. Keeping it stirring so it's cooking evenly. And as Steve said before, see, I'm stirring this already and I can see it's starting to boil again. Like you wanna not be able to stir the boil out of this. Give it another try to make sure it's where you like it. That's just about there. I'm gonna take my garlic off the heat and get it next to our pot here. And then using my bigger tongs, I'm gonna pull this pasta out and I'm gonna pull all the water with it. So this starch water is what's going to kind of emulsify in with our oil to give us a nice sauce. My tweezers in here. Kind of keep this off the heat a little bit. Now as I stir this, I don't know if you can hear that on the microphone. I used to tell all my cooks when they worked for me, you want it to sound like a good night. That's kind of how you know it's ready. Oh yeah. So that's the end about there. Just another little pinch of salt. Make sure that's all tastes good. So if you can see, just in the camera, that looks like a little like a cheese sauce almost, or some kind of butter sauce. That is just water and oil. So I'm gonna take these to make sure this looks all nice. Turn it off our heat. Bring it over to our plating area. So now that it's over here, it's all good to go. We also, in the culinary world, we are told you taste with your eyes first. So plating this is definitely a part of it. So as you can see, I got it nice and good wrapped around my tweezers. You want to see that steam there? That's how you know it's real. Keep twisting it, get it nice and tight. Then I'm going to put it into our bowl. And I'm going to try and stand it up as high as I can. Just like that. Then we're going to garnish it with a little pistachio. A little fresh lemon segment. Some fresh clipped basil from the garden. Some basil buds, because they have an incredible amount of flavor to them. Some fresh cracked pepper. And then just another little drizzle of olive oil. And that, my friends, is all she wrote. Just something a little extra for the viewers of this. We would like to kind of show you all how to make ricotta cheese. We think as chefs, it's probably the easiest thing in the world to make, so we assume that everybody else knows how to do it and that it's the easiest thing in the world to make. In this pot right here, I have 1 cup of raw milk from Fresh Start Farm and half a cup of cream from Tanner Brothers Dairy, right kind of in Newtown. In here, I kind of already got it going just to kind of speed up the process, but you want to combine these and get it up to kind of a boil as slow as you can. The slower you can bring this up to a boil, the tighter your cheese curds are going to be. With ricotta cheese, you can do it in any kind of ratio. It's always 2 to 1 milk to cream. So you can do a gallon of milk, a half gallon of cream. A cup of milk, a half cup of cream. It can be anything and it'll work just as well. In here, I have 2 teaspoons of white vinegar. We decided to use white vinegar because it's almost flavorless. You can do any kind of acid. You can do citric acid, the powder. You can do lemon juice. You can do orange juice. Depending on kind of what you want to do with this is what you'll kind of use as your acid. So as right now, this is starting to kind of boil. If you can see, it's just starting to kind of rise, the cream. I want to add this vinegar, give it a little stir, and count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to kill the heat. Then pull it off of the heat, and we're going to let this sit for probably about 5 minutes so that the curds can kind of start to tighten. But already, you can kind of see that the milk is starting to separate, the milk whey is starting to separate from the cheese. So the longer this will sit, the tighter this is going to be. When we go to pour this out into our cheesecloth strainer, it's going to be pretty much a disc of cheese. That is all we have to do. The tighter the cheese that you want, the longer you'll let it drip out in the cheesecloth. The looser the cheese that you want, you'll take it out sooner. How we do it, we like to put it inside a pasta, so I want a drier ricotta cheese. I also understand that you cannot take out moisture once it's added in, so I would rather have it be dry and add moisture in than to have loose ricotta cheese trying to pipe it into a pasta and have it go everywhere and it be super loose. So for us, I like it a little tighter, and yeah, as you can see, it's going to turn out great. So we're going to dump out our ricotta cheese. You can see all the chunks coming out. So like I was saying, the tighter the cheese that you want, the more you're going to let this drip out. If I lift this up, you'll see it's starting, all the cheese whey starting to run out. We want this to be pretty dry, so we're going to let this go for probably 10 or 15 minutes or so. We'll check back in when it's where you want it to be at and get it going from there. All right, so now we are on to our second pasta roll. We are going to roll some ricotta tortellinis with the ricotta cheese that we just made. So to save you all the headache and for your viewing pleasure, we already have our pasta sheet rolled out here to our 5th setting 3 times, like we explained earlier. We're gonna take one of our ring molds. If you get your basic set of ring molds, for what it's worth, this is the 6th ring mold. So I'm gonna take these and start cutting these out to kind of get our tortellini shapes. It's gonna go through, same kind of thing like I was saying earlier, all this scrap, this goes to family meal or for the line cooks, or you take it home with you. That's what him and I eat at home when we are kind of on the go, little pasta scrap. So I'm just gonna take a minute and cut all these out. And obviously, you know, if you're just getting started at this, my recommendation would be is make smaller sheets because these will dry out quickly now that you're cutting them. With us, we're pretty handy at rolling these pretty quickly, so we can do 20 in 5 minutes. So I have no problem rolling out a big sheet as you just saw, but for anybody at home, I would probably say start small and then go big. If not, you're gonna be wasting a lot of pasta dough. So now that we got our last one here, Steve's gonna pull the ricotta cheese out from the fridge that we have. And again, with the ricotta cheese, I will say, to start off, less is more. If you put too much in, you are going to want to blow off your head trying to close the ricotta. Start there.
It's gonna make you not want to do it again.
Yes.
That's really what he's trying to say.
So in here, we have just 1 egg that we just beat up with a little paintbrush. You can get these at Michael's or anywhere. So what we're gonna do first is just paint the top half, just the top half, not the whole thing, just the top half. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, just that top half is painted on. We're gonna fold it over like a pierogi and kiss all of those sides. And starting at the edges, we're gonna essentially push all of the air out. So once I get this sealed and all the air is pushed out and everything, and all my filling is towards the center, I'm going to, we say, hold like a smiley face, upside down, and you're gonna dab a little of this egg wash on the right-hand side. So if I'm facing you, my right hand on this side, and then this is where Steve and I, we differ a little bit. Yes, we are twins. Yes, we do things a little differently. I'm going to take my right side and I'm going to roll it away from me. And I'm going to put the inside of the left side onto the right side. I'm gonna kiss it just like that, just like so the glue kind of hits. My finger is still in there, which is creating that little pocket that you want for a tortellini. I'm gonna take my finger out, and there you get your perfect little pocket tortellini. That's one.
Like Nick said, we do these a little bit differently. So I start the same technique, painting it just the top half. Everything is the same, folding over like a pierogi, pinching out all the air, turning it over like our smiley face. And still the same way, I dab the right side, just like Nick does. And then instead, where he pushes in and goes out, I push in and I go in. So I take the right side and bring it around the left. But same
idea.
Same product.
And then now we are lucky enough to be blessed with the daughter of Casadella Mill, Deming, to be here. So we would love for you to come give this a try. So everyone welcome Deming. So I'm gonna put a little bit on here for you so you're not gonna wanna blow your head off. So just a little dollop. Again, you can always add more once you're comfortable with these. I would recommend start small.
So top
like,
half?
Yep, top half. Like, yeah, you're an artist. You're going to get this really well.
Love the faith in me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that?
Yep, for that.
Okay.
I would recommend picking it up and hold it.
Oh.
I've seen a lot of people want to just fold it over on the table. That way, like at least with this, kind of like you're rolling a joint, you can kind of keep keep like the cheese right in the center.
Okay,
You know what I mean? So it's not gonna like fold over. So yep, and just kiss the sides just like that. Perfect. And yeah, starting from the edges, just you want to kind of get the air out and just make sure the sides are just sealed.
Mm-hmm. How's that look?
Perfect.
How am I flipping it
Yeah,
over?
flip it like smiley face. Yep, perfect. I love when people listen.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for us, you're left-handed, I see.
Yeah.
We dot the right because I am right-hand dominant. So I put mine on the right. If you want, hold it like this first.
Okay.
And what is comfortable to you? You're going to go out or in? Like, how do your wrists move?
Probably
Yep.
out like that. So should I dot it on the
So
left
yeah,
side?
if you dot it on this side, you're going to bring this edge over top of that one.
Okay, beautiful.
Yep.
Moment of truth.
Moment of truth here. And just roll it over and just kiss that left over the right. Just like that. Yep, perfect. Just like that. Now flip it over.
How does it look?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Okay?
Not bad for your
Alright.
first one.
Woo, yay.
So we always see too, a lot of people, what they do is they'll take this, they'll put the egg on, they'll fold it up, and then what they'll do is they will roll it around their finger like a crown. It won't, so like they'll do this, they'll put all this in here, and then they'll do this. Let me see if I can even do it. They'll just roll it, I know my film is falling out, but they'll just roll it like that, where it's like
Yeah.
what we have seen, and it's the hardest part to describe. It's like a swanky shoulder twist, you know? So put our cheese in, get the egg on, get this folded and closed, and then once it's all sealed, put it upside down, get the egg on my right side. We say like you want to like roll yourself over so your finger kind of stays out of the way so it makes that little closed off pocket. So like that's what's going to hold your sauce. Any pasta roll or anything like this needs a little pocket which is going to catch your sauce. So that little twist is what's going to kind of give you that little pocket. So we're going to quickly roll the rest of these and then we'll get to cooking. So now that we have our tortellini finished and rolled, Demi did such a great job. We are going to now show you either something that we would cook at home or something that we would kind of serve on our menu. We just went out to our garden earlier and got some really nice mustard greens that we were growing, some good sun gold cherry tomatoes, some shallots and scallions. So we're going to kind of just make a little seared tomato and mustard green ricotta tortellini. So I'm going to start off with our amazing olive oil from Altamontes, again with our awesome pourer from Walnut Street Pottery, an amazing pottist right here in Bucks County. I'm going to start by getting our cut shallots and scallions in here. You might see that, oh, this is not a nice cut. When we cook for ourselves and even for our guests at our private dinners and everything, I don't like everything to be like that super small, fancy, you know, Brenois and everything else. Like, we like the farm cooking. We like more of the rustic style stuff. I want you to know that, hey, I actually did this. I cut this, not a robot, not something else. So I also like the bigger pieces. It gives more flavor. It's a better mouthfeel. You might get a little crunch of an onion or a shallot, which, you know, can kind of take the dish to the next level. So when I got these sweat out a little bit in here, make sure it stays off the wall. And again, like you just saw, I added just a little pinch of salt. That's gonna help just kind of draw out some of the moisture from the vegetables, as well as, like I mentioned in the last course, just seasoning in layers, making sure everything in here has a good flavor to it and good even balance. Once these are done, we're gonna add our quartered sun gold tomatoes. These are probably the sweetest tomatoes we've ever had. I feel like this variety is just incredible. It grows incredible, pretty resistant. You get a lot of yield from it, and they're just so sweet. Turn this up a tad, and then add our tomatoes. We're gonna let these blister up a little bit before we add our mustard greens. And again, like I said, a little pinch of salt in between. So I'm just kind of going just to one side. Get my mustard greens ready. Now the cool thing about the mustard greens, unlike any other kind of like, I don't know, wilty green, these will not shrink as much as spinach does. They will shrink and wilt a little bit, but it's not going to be like where if I put this all in, I'm gonna get that much out. So, and they'll give a little kind of bitter contrast to our super kind of sweet tomatoes, which should kind of give a nice balance to this dish. And even, it's really nice too with these sun golds, just the juice coming out of them is gonna help kind of make a nice sauce for us too. So we'll have kind of a nice butter tomato sauce. These are getting to where I want them to be. I can tell they're starting to kind of soften up and some of the insides are starting to come out and get soft. Turn the heat up a little bit. I've been rocking the heat probably about a medium low this entire time. Turning it up now just a little bit just so I can watch it and kind of keep my stuff moving. Oh yeah. All right, add my greens now. Make sure they're all laying flat so they all kind of touch the pan evenly. We get a nice kind of even cook on them. Again, a little bit of salt. I can already smell them. And while this is going, I already have my pasta water here boiling. In all of our cooking, even in all of our serving, Steve and I are very big on clean, fresh water. So we actually have a Kangen K8 machine in our house. So we only serve and cook with alkaline, hydrogen-rich water. So I am cooking in a 9.0 alkaline water with active hydrogen gas in here, which is going to kind of allow our food to pull more natural nutrients out, and it's going to allow our body to actually absorb more of the natural nutrients. Again, our whole philosophy is food is medicine, down to the water. And I think we all kind of know that some of our water is not that great. So we are very, very, very anal about the water that we drink and serve and cook with. So everything we do is coming from this water in this machine. So very important to us. Now I can tell my greens are getting a little wilted. I'm gonna add a little of butter now, kind of keep the cooking process going and just introduce a different kind of fat. We don't really typically use any of the seed oils or anything like that. We try to stay away from it. We're big believers of animal products and animal food. So a lot of olive oil, a lot of butter, a lot of animal fats. That's kind of the only stuff we're gonna cook and serve. It's also better for us, better for our body, better for our environment than these processed lubricants. So now that this butter is melting down, I'm gonna drop our pasta. Again, this pasta should take very quick. I'm already at a rolling boil. I want to take my pasta. Yes, it is in a coffee filter. Yes, we are cooking at a real farm, so we do not have all the kitchen appliances you might have at home. So I'm going to drop that in there. Give them a stir so they don't stick to the bottom. Keep on moving, and like Steve said, this has not stopped boiling at all yet. Take a little bit of this water, just a dump in here to kind of stop the cooking process, as well as to add a little bit of starch to here. So in here, you can kind of see already these tortellinis have almost doubled in size. They are all floating. These are not frozen, so this is probably already cooked. I'm gonna take one more second before I dump it in. When we typically serve it on our menu, we will roll these ahead of time and then freeze them. All I'm kind of doing when they are frozen is just waiting for the filling to defrost. Without the filling, having defrost here, we're kind of good to go. So I'm gonna add these in here right now. Put my spider back in here, and I'm gonna add a little bit more pasta water. This is what's gonna kind of create our sauce for us. And then I'm going to add just another spoon of butter. Healthy on the butter, always. Then I'm going to just slowly try to twirl this around and mix it ever so softly. That starch water from the pasta is going to emulsify with our butter to kind of give us a nice rich sauce. We're not adding any stock or anything like that. This is just pasta water and butter.
Called it beurre monte.
Beurre monte. Again, you hear that? Want to finish it with a little bit of lemon. As you can see, we have a nice sauce here. So now we're going to come over to our plating station. Again, like we said in the last video, you taste with your eyes first. I'm gonna get our greens down right in the center here. And then we're going to just place these around as nicely as we can, adding a little bit of height to the dish, kind of showcasing those pasta rolls, the inside of there, not getting anything on the edge. And then we're going to finish it with a little garnish from the garden, some fresh toasted pine nuts from the larder in Doylestown, a little borage flour, which actually tastes kind of like cucumber and fish, believe it or not.
Just a little melon flowers.
Some dill from the garden, and a few fennel flowers. And what is a pasta dish without fresh cracked pepper? So, let's throw it there, friends.
Now you've learned a little bit about some of the tips and tricks on these local products that we really love to showcase. If you want to learn more from us, please visit our website. It's service-events.com. If this video taught you anything, leave us a comment, tell us what you want to see more of. We love being able to do this for you. Now take some of these tips and tricks and go impress someone's grandma.